Hi, I'm Deborah Santella with Aquaseas Realty in Newport Richey, Florida. I'm a realtor here in Pasco County, and I'm going to take this opportunity to discuss what steps you need to take for homeownership. I'm often asked by people renting or young people starting out, hey, what do I need to do to buy a house? Well, there's quite a bit of a few steps here that we need to take before we get to that dotted sign on the dotted line at the closing table to purchasing a house. The first thing that I suggest that everybody do is to look at your credit report. It is very important. Your credit is very, very important. I can't stress that enough. I know young people today, and I know I was that way myself when I was young, but you don't really have a grasp or understanding of how important your credit history is until you're a little bit older and you're ready to buy a house or a car. But it's very important. So what I suggest is you print up your credit report and take a look at it. If there's any past delinquent accounts, you're going to need to clear them up. They're not going to go away. They're not going to forget that you have the debt. It's going to stay with you, so you need to clear that up. It is going to be part of the history. So find out from your creditor what you need to do to get that cleared up. Sometimes they're willing to take a settlement, which is, a slightly cheaper amount you could possibly pay off the debt with if the creditor agrees, or see what you need to do to get current. And keep in mind as well too that this is going to take a couple months. It's not a quick process clearing your credit or fixing your credit. It could take a couple months to save the money that you need to pay off a debt, or it could take a couple months, between corresponding with the credit bureaus and yourself and paperwork going back and forth. Also, take a look at your credit report. If you see anything on there that's not yours, that doesn't belong to you, please call them and tell them, hey, this is not mine, because you don't want anything on your credit report that is going to show you in a negative light, especially something that doesn't belong to you. So definitely dispute it with the credit bureaus. The second thing that you should be doing is saving money. Saving money is going to be very important here, as you're going to see in a few minutes when I talk to you about the expenses of buying a home. A lot of people don't understand down payments and closing costs, and they are two very different things. Down payment is what you're going to need if you're financing the home. The bank or the lender is going to require a down payment, and depending on the loan, it just depends on the loan, the amount, I should say. For a conventional, it's usually 25%. FHA is 3.5%. And when I say conventional is usually 20%, because sometimes some banks and lenders have incentives or programs going on that might offer you less of a percentage for a conventional loan. I've had a buyer a few months ago that got in on a conventional loan with nothing, no money down. But of course they had to have PMI insurance. But sometimes, you don't have the money up front, so you need that PMI insurance. That part is not the hard part for you. It's the saving and having that down payment that might be hard for you. So what I suggest you do is start Googling some things on mortgages, types of mortgages, mortgage terms. The more educated you get yourself, the better you're going to be in a better position. You're going to know what you're talking about. You're going to know what they're talking about, more importantly, because let me tell you, before I even got into becoming a real estate agent, I had no idea. It is not something that I talked about daily. So I really had no clue. And I know that when we did go for a car loan, and they were talking all these things about, the interest rate and all these things that they were talking about, I felt very, I don't want to say dumb, but I just felt out of the loop. I really didn't understand what was going on. So the more educated you get yourself, the better position you'll be. A closing cost. Now, this always is a shocker to everybody. They don't realize that there is closing costs sometimes, and sometimes they don't realize how much the closing cost can be. Some of your typical closing costs are going to be your home inspections. You're going to want to get a home inspection, so that's going to be something you're going to have to pay out of pocket. And the average home inspection is $350, and then they go up from there. And that's just for a full home inspection. If you want or if you are on getting a home that's on well and septic, you're going to want a well and septic inspection as well. So that would be separate, and as well as a pool if you wanted a pool inspection. So those are costs that are going to come out of your pocket. There's appraisal fees and lender's fees and surveys. There's title company fees. There's lien search fees, taxes. And then here's the one that shocks everybody. I have not had one person tell me in all my years doing this that, oh yeah, no, I knew about that. Your homeowner's insurance. They are going to require a year and 2 months of homeowner's insurance up front at the closing table. So keep that in mind, all these closing costs that you are going to need. Now, sometimes, you can negotiate closing costs. Your realtor can negotiate them into the sales of the contract to where the seller could pay all or a portion of your closing costs. And again, it depends on your loan type, because certain loans do have caps on how much a seller can contribute to a buyer's closing cost. The third thing is, what I suggest to do is, while you're cleaning up your credit, while you're saving up money, go ahead and sort through some of your paperwork that you have, some past taxes, pay stubs that you have. Put all those important things in a file and keep it someplace where you know where it is. So that way, when you get to that point of talking to a lender, you're going to have them easily accessible, because they're going to need them. They're going to require them from you. So instead of having to search through everything all at once, you've taken your time and you've done it, and you've put them in a safe place. So you know where they're at. When they ask you, it's no big deal. You can just send it right to them. Because the paperwork, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be very, very honest. It can get very stressful, because it's a process from the very beginning, from starting out your credit all the way to the closing table. It is a process, and it does, and it can and will get stressful at some times. We all have a life. Some of you work, some of you have kids. You just have a life. You have things to do, places to go. Your kids might be in sports. So the best way to get yourself set up for success and not to be stressful is just to be organized and get those things together. So basically those are the 3 steps that you need to take before getting yourself pre-approved. So that's the next step I wanted to talk about. You need to go to a bank or a lender or mortgage broker to get pre-approved. It's very important. If you want to make an offer on a house, you cannot make an offer on a house without a pre-approval. While you can make an offer, they're just not going to consider your offer without a pre-approval, or if you're going to be paying cash, proof of funds. So that's very important that you have that step down before you even step foot in a house. So get your credit cleaned up, save some money, get yourself organized, and go ahead and get pre-approved. And as long as you set yourself up for success, you should have a very smooth transaction.